And thank you for coming to another video in this particular series where I'll get my hands dirty into a few tools that cybersecurity professionals utilize for a lot of different various reasons. And this one, I'll be doing system and network implementation concepts, particularly some log monitoring. In this particular video, using the application Splunk Enterprise, which is one of the more popular tools for a lot of different things, mostly at the SIM tool, but a lot of enterprises utilize for, again, various reasons. So, but in this particular one, I'll get a bit into what Splunk actually does. It collects logs, right, devices on the network, and it has a centralized point of all the things that as far as the logs on the devices that can't be monitored. So what I'll be doing is installing and configuring the Splunk Enterprise application. So let's make sure I'm connected to the right server here. Let's get in here. Perfect. All right. Let me open this up here. All right. Now it's installing. Shouldn't take too long. Of course, I accept. Well, we're going to customize a few options here. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, we're going to do domain. As far as the password, we're going to do what I just logged in as. Let's see. Okay, that should have worked. Let's see. Let's try it again. Okay. All right, perfect. So just also, by the way, using the domain administrator account for the installation of Splunk Enterprise, going to ensure the application will be able to collect logs from devices on the network. Let's see. So we're going to use, let's restart. That's fine. All right, shouldn't take long. Now, as far as the secondary password and user and password, a local account with a password needs to be created. That will be used to log into the Splunk Enterprise web application that I'm going to use a bit in just a few moments here once it finishes the installation. Shouldn't take too much longer here. All right, so just so this video isn't too long, I'm actually going to, I'll cut it back in for when everything is fully installed, and I'll have the Splunk web application started to Splunk has officially finished installing, so I'm just gonna have the browser launch with the application. All right, perfect. There we go. And then it's going to be Splunk admin. Doesn't like being admin. All right, and password. Never going to get my password. Every time I see you got it, I think about if anyone has ever watched Full House or Michelle or one of the twins. They would say, "You got it, dude," in some random spot. I don't know why that just randomly popped up in my head. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead to settings, and then I'm going to go to forwarding and receiving. All right, perfect. And then once it loads, I'm going to add new here for receiving data. All right. And I'm going to go here. So we're going to be able to listen to this port. Now, this application, Splunk, it was configured to listen for traffic on the network, right? So the Windows firewall also may need to be configured to ensure the traffic can be received on the port. So I'm actually going to close this, well, minimize it rather. And then I'm just going to, let's here, see, and let's take a look at the inbound rules. Ports. Then we want specific user. Then we want that's what we want. Now do we want to, yeah, of course we want to allow it. And then for this one, yeah, we're gonna leave everything here. The name is Splunk. Perfect. So now I'm just going to do a bit of configuring for the Splunk client. So to ensure the devices on the network can send log activity, it has to be configured to facilitate this. So now I'm just going to make sure that a client device will be configured to forward this log to the Splunk app. So I'm going to head to another server just so we can take a look here. Close this out. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it up. I don't want to miss anything. And again, just so this video isn't make it as short as possible, I'll get into the point of what we're doing. I'm going to be right back with when the server loads, we can continue. All right, perfect. So we have the lab finally, well, the server finally open. So let me minimize this, open up the Explorer. Then I'm going to head to downloads for the Splunk install file. Pretty much the same concept, similar concept rather to what we done on the last one. Here, click next. Same, again, same right. And then under here, we want all of these, which is good. we don't anything. Then same concept, just Splunk. Yeah, I was going to capitalize it, but that's fine. No, we don't want that. We don't want the password. We want next. And as far as in the IP, let's do this one here. All right, and oh, this one is taking a oh, might be a bit quicker than the last one, hopefully. Let's see. Guess not. Okay. All right, so it's finally finished. Then it should automatically update. So the Splunk Universal Forwarder, it was configured to forward the logs for this particular server to the Splunk application. So, which was also configured on the last server that we used, ending in 1.1. And the same steps are it can be performed on the other server that we haven't accessed yet, the one ending in DCO1, to that device to forward the logs to the Splunk Enterprise app. So now what we're going to do is collect logs using Splunk. So now that it has been installed and configured on this particular server, we can go ahead and start to use it. So let me open that up here. And then to get there, just going to do, let's see, just type in the IP. That was not it. Okay. All right, let's fix this. Okay, so we got everything back up and running, and I'm just going to run everything on this server versus the other Indian DM01. So now that we've logged in and I went over how I got to here, the forwarding and receiving for the data. Now I'm just going to just do a few more things as far as forwarding data from the Splunk forwarder. So let's take a look here. Let me see. Go back. Make sure I'm in the correct spot. I think it's right here. Skip. All right, perfect. And then let's see here, data. There it is. All right, so we're adding this server here to the server class. All right. Acid. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let me better here. Perfect. All right, so let's take a look here. Then let's add the application security in the system. I gotta just hit next. Review. and submit. Start searching. So it should create a window. Yep. Perfect. So as we can see here, we have all the logs here from this server here that Splunk has searched and found. So we can see different, all the events shows us the amount, the patterns, the stats, the visualization of this data, right? As far as everything that we can take a look at. So the logs for that particular server, they've been successfully imported into the enterprise, the Splunk Enterprise app. And additional devices can be added, as you can see towards the beginning, where I added it from one box on the left to the box on the right. You can add additional servers if needed. Of course, I would imagine enterprises would have a lot more servers than just one, but they can be added to have a central repository to view all the log files in one place. So now we're going to get into encrypting sensitive data, right? So as a cyber professional, we understand that it's critical to protect sensitive data, right? That especially if it's stored locally or in the cloud. And different types of sensitive data can be stored on any given server, right? For example, PII or cardholder data. Now, to protect locally stored data, the server's hard drives can be encrypted to protect the data on the drive itself. And in this exercise, we're going to take a look at the BitLocker Drive Encryption feature to be installed, and also have a local drive to be encrypted. So let's see I'm going to take a look at it on this server here. So we're going to take a look in the server manager. Then we're going to do roles and features. And then next. And then let's see if we want role based. Yeah, we want role based. That's fine. Let's see. Here, this is good. Then we want to enable, let's see. This is fine. Looking for, there it is. Okay. That's what I was looking for on the last page. All right, perfect. And then on this page, we want here, and it shouldn't take too long for it to install, but the install of we're installing now the BitLocker Drive Encryption feature should take just a few moments for it to complete. Then we can move on to the next task. Let's see. All right, so we got everything back up and running. I had to restart the server once I had the BitLocker feature installed. Now that I've installed it, it can encrypt and secure a local drive, right? So now I'm going to encrypt the local drive. So let's see. All right, so I've reconnected back to the server. So let's take a look here. Actually, no. Volume, and then I could turn on the BitLocker here. There we go. And then I'll do this here. Okay. All right, and I want to save to a file. Okay, then documents. Yeah, that'll work. That's fine. Then next, then do we want to use this place? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, so now it's encrypting. So also, as want to note a couple things. In a real world scenario, the recovery key usually isn't stored on the local machine, but it would rather be saved to a secured network location or to a USB flash drive, and it would ensure the recovery key will be secure and accessible. Now, for this particular drive in this lab, the drive is empty, right? So the default selection was used, and in the real world, the drive already usually would already have data on it that needs to be encrypted as well. So the second option would be selected, and depending on the type of drive that would be encrypted, different option, as I mentioned, can be selected. In this case, a fixed drive will be encrypted. So actually, I can close this out while it's doing that in the background. And we can actually notice, well, we notice that now it has a lock icon on the new volume here. So now that we've done that, we've enabled to turn on the BitLocker feature. Now we're going to enable multi-factor authentication. So it's usually added to add an additional layer of security. I'm sure we've all done it as far as signing in to a particular account, like for instance, Gmail. And when you're signing it to Gmail, let's say your smart TV, you're logging in. Oh, actually, I'll use YouTube. Actually, that's a bit better as far as the example I want to use. So let's say we're logging into YouTube, the YouTube application on our smart TV, and it may ask for additional. We enter in our username and password, typically that's connected to our Google account, right? And then even though we know our password, it'll ask, hey, we're going to send you a notification either to your phone with a particular code, or we're going to send a notification to your Gmail or Google application that's on your phone to verify you're the one signing in, which will give an example of what MFA looks like. And there's different types of MFA. I mean, it could be sent to your phone, the text code, it could be a notification in the app that's on your phone for you to say, yes, it's me. It's all different types of MFA, but those are typically the ones that are most used that a lot of us, if not all of us, are familiar with. But it's, again, added to add an extra layer to your account. Now, several different methods can be used to implement this, like smart cards or using an authentication application. I use Microsoft, I think it's called Microsoft Authenticator, and it uses my Face ID whenever I'm logging into my enterprise network for my work email. So to give you another idea of how it would work, or a secure USB key. So in this exercise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user, and a multi-factor authentication is going to be enabled. So let's take a look here. So let me go back to the server manager. Right, perfect. Active Directory. And let me stand that up. And then send this. Oh, let me click it rather. And new user. Right, and I'm gonna do myself. Or do one of my favorite shows. There we go. That is awesome. All right, so and Scott. Oh man, I love that show. All right, so now I can put in the password. All right, perfect. Now let me uncheck this. With M. Scott at ASIP Lab. And then, all right, perfect. So we're good there. Now I'm just gonna double click on the folder. No, actually it should be open here. Perfect. Let's open this up. And then let's take a look at the account tab. Where is it? I don't know why I did that. Let's see. Small card is required. So now I'm just going to do a bit of verifying for the MFA. So for the new creator, or the newly created user I just used for Michael Scott. So let me turn off the automatic login here. Perfect, I'll just turn that off. So now I'm just going to log out of here. So then it should prompt me to enter a password or choose a user. So I'm going to do Scott, password, then we have, should log me right in. So as you can see, even though I placed in my password, I get an error message that I must use a smart card to sign in. But of course, due to it being a lab and the physical restriction of the lab, MFA cannot be, there's no other MFA that can be further applied, but we did reach the end of the video. We did a couple things just for a brief recap. We did some log collection with Splunk, which was very, very fun. We did some encrypting sensitive data and enabling some MFA for users on a network. So we were also able to configure a Splunk client and install a BitLocker Drive Encryption feature. And that will be the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.